your insight as always. We now move on once again. At the United Nations, the United States criticized Russia for cynically obstructing monitoring efforts on North Korea's compliance with UN sanctions. Speaking at a Security Council briefing, US Envoy Dorothy Shea accused Moscow of blocking oversight to avoid criticism for using North Korean weapons in its war against Ukraine. She said Pyongyang has sent over 24,000 containers of arms and more than 100 ballistic missiles to Russia since September 2023. Shea also pointed out to evidence that Chinese companies are also importing banned coal and iron from North Korea. Here's what the US Ambassador for the United Nations, Dorothy Shea, had to say.
Clear from evidence presented today that Russia is cynically obstructing the Council on DPRK sanctions implementation in order to try to escape reproach for its own violations. Meanwhile, China insists that it fully implements the Council's resolutions, but we have just seen evidence of Chinese authorities looking the other way as PRC companies import DPRK coal and iron ore in violation of this Council's resolution.
Meanwhile, Russia's UN ambassador, Vasily Nevensia, defended Moscow's stance. He urged the Council to radically reconsider its approach and blame the West's Cold War mindset for the stalemate. Listen in to what Russia's UN ambassador had to say.
Совету Безопасности следует кардинально пересмотреть подходы, чтобы вывести ситуацию из опасного тупика, а не усугублять ее еще больше. Мы не раз говорили, с каких направлений можно было бы начать движение к нормализации. Но для этого в западных столицах должны коренным образом перенастроить мышление, которое до сих пор основывается на парадигме холодной войны.
In March 2024, Russia vetoed the resolution that had enabled UN monitoring on North Korea since 2006. The monitoring body no longer exists, raising concerns over unchecked sanction violations. We move on once again. The US Federal Reserve has paused rate cuts once again, warning that President Trump's tariff moves could derail its inflation and job targets. FED officials voted unanimously to hold the key lending rate between 4.25 and 4.50%. The FED maintains its dual mandate to fight inflation and unemployment, but analysts say the administration's tariffs may drive both up in the short term. The central bank noted strong economic activity despite trade volatility, pointing to a pre-tariff import surge in early quarters. Last month, Trump slapped heavy tariffs on China and lower levies on other countries, sending markets into weeks of uncertainty. The White House then delayed many of those tariffs until July to renegotiate trade deals. Recent data shows a likely economic slowdown in Q1, even as unemployment remains low and inflation nears the FED's 2% goal. Let's listen in to what Trump had to say.
Do you have any plans on doing it? None whatsoever. Never did. The press runs away with things. No, I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No, it's not. But it would be good timing. It could have taken place earlier. But no, I have no intention to fire him.
Jerome Powell commented on inflation, economic uncertainty, Donald Trump, and FED cuts. Let's listen in.
You know, it's going to depend. I think you have to just take a step back and realize this is why we are where we are. Is we're going to need to see how this evolves. There are cases in which it would be appropriate for us to cut rates this year. There are cases in which it wouldn't. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. The risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation appear to have risen, and we believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. So when they do settle out, what will be the implications for the economy, for growth, and for employment? I think it's too early to know that. So, I mean, ultimately, we think our policy rate is in a good place to. I don't think we can say, which way this will shake out. I think there's a great deal of uncertainty about, for example, where tariff policies are going to settle out. And also, when they do settle out, what will be the implications for the economy, for growth, and for employment? I think it's too early to know that. So, I mean, ultimately, we think our policy rate is in a good place to stay as we await further clarity on tariffs and ultimately their implications for the economy.